The Boy Who Chased the Sun. Long ago, in a small mountain village, there lived a boy named Armaan. He was curious by nature, always asking questions that others ignored. While the children of his village played games, Armaan would sit on the rooftops, staring at the sky, wondering, what is the sun made of? Why does it give us light and warmth? And can we live without it? The villagers often laughed at him. Don't waste your time on the sun, they would say. It rises and sets every day. That's all you need to know. But Armaan didn't stop. He wanted answers. The journey begins. One morning, he decided to follow the path of the sun. He packed some bread, a flask of water, and his notebook. He walked across valleys and rivers until he reached the great library of the city. There, an old scientist named Professor Armaan welcomed him. The professor smiled and said, you want to know about the sun? Then listen carefully, young man. The sun is not a fire made of wood or coal. It is a giant ball of burning gases, mostly hydrogen and helium. Deep inside, unimaginable heat and pressure force hydrogen atoms to combine and form helium. This process is called nuclear fusion, and it releases an enormous amount of energy. That is the light and warmth you see. Armaan's eyes widened. So the sun is like a gigantic power station in the sky? Exactly, the professor replied. Every second, it gives us more energy than all the power plants on Earth combined. Without it, there would be no life, no food, no water cycle, and no air to breathe. The secret of life. Armaan asked, but how does the sun give us food? The professor led him into a garden. He pointed at the green leaves of a tree and said, see these leaves? They are tiny solar panels. They trap sunlight and use it to make food in a process called photosynthesis. Plants take in sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to make sugar, their food. In doing so, they release oxygen. That oxygen is what keeps you alive, Armaan gasped. So, every breath I take is a gift from the sun and the plants. Exactly, my boy. Every grain of rice, every apple, every loaf of bread. You owe it all to the sun. The cycle of water. Armaan walked further and saw a great river. The professor explained, the sun also drives the water cycle. Its heat makes water from seas and rivers evaporate, turning into clouds. Then the clouds pour rain, which fills rivers again. Without the sun, the earth would be dry and lifeless. Armaan nodded. So the sun gives us both food and water. The future of energy. The professor took Armaan to a field full of solar panels shining under the sky. Humans are now learning to use the sun's gift more wisely. These panels capture sunlight and turn it into electricity, clean energy without smoke or pollution. One day, we may power our homes, cars, and even factories entirely by sunlight. Armaan's face lit up. Then, we won't need to burn coal or oil? Exactly. The sun is our endless treasure. If we learn to use it well, we can save Earth from the dangers of pollution and climate change. The final lesson. At sunset, Armaan sat on a hill, watching the sky glow red and golden. He whispered to himself, the sun is not just a ball of fire. It is the heartbeat of life, the giver of food, water, energy, and breath. Without it, Earth would be a frozen rock floating in space. Every day it rises, giving us another chance to live, to grow, and to dream. From that day, Armaan shared his knowledge with everyone in the village. No one laughed anymore, because they too began to see the sun not just as a daily visitor, but as a silent guardian of life.